It's crazy. Playoff time come around, and the first thing you think that changes is the mindset. Everybody gets more aggressive. Everything gets more intensified. The fouls, everything. You have to be efficient. Like, let's talk about this, just the mindset right now of everybody. Stars got to be stars. Take me through that right now. Playoff starting.
Well, I think the thing is your mindset, your mentality, everything changes. Once you have those first few days before the playoffs start. Your coach is always talking to you about, all the distractions got to get out the way and stuff like that. You talk to your family and everything like, hold on for a second, y'all. This is go time. You know what I'm saying? So you just put yourself in that mindset, and once you step on a court, the atmosphere changes. Different from a regular season game.
Think about the focus on how you be, man. Like I was telling somebody, like for me, I can't speak for y'all. I don't know if it's. I don't really want to say it like this, but it was dark for me. I'm in a trance, man. I'm thinking about the 4 or 5 guys I got to guard, their favorite plays, things I got to make them do. Man, Zeke, speak about a little more of just your mindset when it came to playoff time.
My study habits changed.
Man.
What I mean by my study habits, when you say knowing the opponent, right? I knew what they ate. I knew where they lived. I knew everything about them. I had studied up on them. I knew their weak spot because I wasn't big and physical, but my game was all mental. So I wanted to get you in your weak spot and try to make you play a game of concentration. Can you concentrate for 2 hours and execute your strategy? And my job was to make you break concentration. In those 3 minutes that you break, that's when I'm gonna hit you.
Man, I sit back and I think about advantage. Think about what playoffs really is, leverage. The one time you didn't do something, the one time you missed an assignment. This is the time where all that counts right now, right?
No question.
The attention to detail.
And you're breaking the weak link. I may not be able to go at you, but I may be able to get that 6th man coming off the bench. He may be mentally weak, so I can mess with his mind to make him mess with your mind.
No question.
Not necessarily. I don't have to kill the strongest one, but I'm going to find the weakest link on your team and break him.
Talk about the importance of having team now, because now you're going to have to lean on each other more than anything, knowing that you don't do something well, knowing that you got some weaker links. We talk about links now. Let's talk about team now, having that team now, and when you really have to lean on a teammate. Like, we talk about Paul George didn't take the last shot, but he trusted in a teammate to give the ball. Let's talk about teams now, because that's really what it's about now. All the individual stuff is out the window.
Yeah, chemistry is the most important thing when you start talking about getting that in order to get it to the playoffs.
True.
Because, like you said, that one little weak link, that detail, those details in the playoffs is where everything can break, and it'll be real obvious when somebody not doing what they're supposed to. So you go through training camp, you go through regular season, it's all about paying attention to details and building that bond of chemistry between your players. So when that playoff comes, everybody on that chain link, everybody on that chain link can make it work.
And LeBron understands that right now, because I watched his press conference, right? And it's divide and conquer. And C.J. Miles, Paul George, he saw a lane that he can drive the truck through and divide Paul George and C.J. Miles.
He knows that.
Yeah, and what this whole series to me is going to be about, can they break C.J. Miles? Because if they can break C.J. and separate him from Paul, then they win the series. And Paul opened up that door by saying, I should have had the last shot, as opposed to covering for his teammate. And Bird, being smart enough, tried to come back and clean it up and patch it up. But throughout this series, C.J. Miles, Paul George, that's going to be the storyline.
Real fast, real quick.
Yeah.
You remember your first playoff game?
I remember our first playoff.
First playoff game.
We playing against Orlando. I didn't play much in a regular season. And we lost our first game at home. We were the 1 seed. Orlando was the 8 seed. We lost our first game.
Who on Orlando's team at this time?
Tracy McGrady was pretty much taken over game 1, but he had shown that he was, pretty much owning us throughout the regular season. So I kind of figured at some point that I would get some minutes throughout that playoff series. So I definitely remember that first time I got out there, and it was a win-win situation for me. I wasn't playing in the regular season. Nobody expected nothing from me. I got out there and I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm going to go out here, prove everybody wrong, and I was able to accomplish what I wanted to.
It's a great story, man. I've heard that story. Great one, man. We in here, playoff edition, Area 21. Tayshaun, Zeke, we in here. Ooh, everything's down went up. The levels are went up. The levels are up.